Greetings. Welcome to the rebirth of our show. Our show used to be called Ask the Pastor. Now we go by the name GUOOF Alive because we had a lot of brothers and sisters here who weren't just pastors but also great speakers and eloquent in different ways. Tonight we have again our very good brother Allen, and sister Ronnie of our order, Grand United Order, our fellows, members of South Carolina District Grand Lodge number 13, of our fellows. Please welcome our rebirth, our new show. We're now called Go Off Live, formerly known as Ask the Pastor. I want you to please welcome our distinguished guests, and did tonight, just like every night, is a no holds bar. So if we go down the rabbit hole, I just hope you join us with us and make your comments, and we'll try to answer everything that we can that we see. So thank you very much. I'll now turn it over to Brother Allen, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alan Chalmers, and I would like to thank you again for allowing me to come online tonight and speak to you. We also have with us Sister Ronnie Rose. Would you like to say something, please?
Hi, I'm Ronnie, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Thank you for being here. Well, on last week, we spoke on, the topic was what is love? And this is the continuation on what is love. Last week, I felt that we touched the tip of the spear when we got to talking about love and everything that love entails. Now, last week, I tried to avoid the biblical definition of love and what is love. Because yes, we all know that love is kind, love is self-prevalent. Love covers all. But from last week's topic to today's show, we want to continue talking about how do we understand what is love? How can we see it? How can we express it? How can we feel it? What do we do in these situations where where you have someone that feels or believes that love has to be physical or emotional wars, where to me, in my mind, love is difficult. Every relationship you have to put that work in. Love is an action. However, it shouldn't be where you have to fight or feel like you're going to war on a daily basis just to give and or receive love. So let's just pick up and start from there.
Okay.
I agree with you. Love should be effortlessly. It's not. I mean, and it should be easy though. When two people have an understanding and they know, they're acknowledging each other. I don't see how it can be difficult. The only thing that can make it difficult is if you two are in a relationship, or even if it's a friendship, or and then money's involved, or certain other things get in the way of you guys like having this disagreement over something. But like, if you take all that, the materialistic stuff away and expectation and stuff, love is that's so easy to give and be. It's like, it's effortlessly when you genuinely do that, you know what I mean? And that's what I think.
Me, I said this, Sister Ronnie. Do you feel love is work as well? Do you have to work for true love?
Does love work?
No. Do you have to work to receive and give true love?
That's you. So you should just So if you're giving love to someone, right, they should be able to reciprocate back what you're giving them. It's common sense. It's like easy. Like, that's the thing. It's like a balance. You know what I mean? Like 2 cups. 1 cup is half full, half empty, however you want to see it. Then I pour that cup into some water into that cup. It's supposed to just be like a balancing act.
Your
My
thoughts about.
understanding. Go ahead, brother Sean.
No, go ahead. I was going to ask you to go and reply to that.
I understand exactly what you're saying. However, what tends to happen at times,
Hello?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
hear
hear you. We hear you.
what tends to happen is at times you have some people. It's not all, but you have some
Hello?
who
We hear you.
her volume must
But
have dropped out when she can't hear us. Can
yeah,
you hear us?
I don't know. Let's just go ahead and
What you what you tend to have at times is you have some people who don't know how to reciprocate love. And let's just go like you said, you gave us permission to dive down a rabbit hole. So this
yes,
is a lot of these topics today on the work aspect of love really is going to start going into next week topic. So this will turn around and become a prelude. See what tends to happen is you have some people because of because of their personal history, whether it's dysfunctional families, been in dysfunctional relationships, been assaulted, abused, anything along those lines. And I feel that in those scenarios, they have a hard time reciprocating because they're always on the defense. I'll use myself as an example. As a child growing up, I saw my parents fight. It's nothing to be proud of, but that was the growth for them at that time because they were young when they had me. Now, if you saw them today, you would never believe that. But they were able to work through those issues to build and grow the relationship to where they were this year. I turned 49. They will be married 48 years this year.
Oh, wow.
See, now for me, because of what I saw, I never wanted to be that abusive spouse, abusive boyfriend, anything along those lines. However, I know a young lady who grew up where she was in the same scenario, and she did not want to be the victim. So, in order for her not to be the victim, she became the aggressor.
Mm,
So, when you get that, you have those dynamics that those trained patterns
mm,
can affect people different ways to where you're gonna have those that want to be docile and passive, and then you have those that's gonna be uber aggressive. And this is the way and these are the ways that they know. Not saying that it's right, but that's what it is. And see that like I say, this starts running into next week's episode of no understanding toxic people. Because in the very beginning, you don't see it. And in some cases, it takes a while for it to really just click in like this joker crazy. But I cannot get away. It took 6 or 7 times to realize that
mm,
this dude here or this girl here really is toxic as hell.
mm. Yeah.
so so
I,
go ahead.
oh no, I'm listening.
So for me, I've always looked at the word love. The word love to me has always been an action. And
Yeah.
it's not about what I'm receiving per se, but it's about what I give out.
Mm,
Now, I'm being I show love by being available. It was nothing but a phone call. We can walk, we
mm.
can talk, we can sit in the garage. It's
That's
whatever's
awesome.
clever. Whatever you may need at that moment in time. I will make myself available.
Mm,
You have some people who don't know how to reciprocate love because they really don't know what love feels like to even reciprocate.
yeah, but
Now, Go
That's
ahead.
the thing too. Trauma, like when people go through things in their childhood, it could be like trauma that that they don't know how to do that, and plus they don't know how to, they don't love themselves to know how to give that, because for in order for you to give love, you have to know how to love yourself, and you know what I mean, and accept everything about you in order to give that. That's the other thing too. So it's a lot of different things that play into that, you know what I mean, with
Y-
playing to somebody
Oh, I
being
know
able
exactly what
to.
you mean.
Yeah, because I have some experiences, like I'm telling you, and I've done so much work on myself, like that. Like I know too, like I'm a woman that always keeps myself responsible and accountable for my behaviors and actions. Like I'm always the one that's like, what can I do better? And then there's not enough men that do that. It's like, why are people not learning to do that? And then when I get deep into that, that has a lot to do with like the parent that raised that child to not take accountability. And then it just goes on to like, deeper. You know what I mean? But I think
Well,
it's
I
easy
wouldn't.
to
Go ahead. I apologize.
I think it's easy to love once you purify yourself and you fix those issues that you have, in your life, whatever it is. I think that once those blockages are out the way, you should be able to reciprocate that.
So, do you think because maybe the way that you brought up is caused problems for you to find or give love out to others?
No, I give love out. That's the thing. People like I give. I like to give. I'm a giver. I'm a lover, and it's the men that I'm attracting that are not the same. They're not the same. They see me being this vulnerable woman, which I'm supposed to be. Women are supposed to be vulnerable and submissive, but then the wrong man sees that, and then they take advantage of that. But I'm working on that where I can fix that part of me that's attracting that type of man anyway, because I still have to take some type of accountability. And then I have to learn to probably protect that part of me that they see.
Okay.
It's messed up because I should be able to just be that way, right? I should just be able to be if that's how I am. But like, it's just, I don't know. It's
Well,
What?
first of all, don't look down on yourself. Just because people don't treat you with the proper respect, don't
yeah, they
feel
don't.
bad. Don't feel bad like you can't love people because there are some bad people out there. Now you're gonna always have complications and confusion in life, but it's up to you to decipher what is real and what is real. Now, what is what you accept and what you don't accept. Once you set your boundaries in life,
Yeah.
then
Hmm.
you'll know what you can and cannot accept. But before we go any further, I would like to bring on Brother Terrell and get his ideas. What is love to you? Once he unmute himself, he could hear. We could hear. Uh, what is the idea of love to you?
Good evening. Hope everybody can hear me.
Good
My
evening.
name is Terrell. The question is, what is love to me?
Yes.
Love is the cliche word of unconditional. Um, the cliche word, I say, and it's subjective. The appearance of love differs from person to person, and how because everybody receives love differently. So a part of love is communication. So as long as you can communicate how you love as an individual, the person can receive it correctly as well.
But
Say,
can
bruh.
you?
Put some treble in your voice.
Say what?
Say, bruh. Put some treble in your voice.
My bad. What is love? You want me to sound like LL or what?
Yeah. So my question is to each and every: can you find or build love around you? Can you really find love? Meaning, can you go out there and just make your idea of what love is a reality in your life to go forward? Can you really build that, or is it just something that just happens?
I believe you can. Because at first, in order to be able to give love, you have to be able to love yourself.
Mhm.
See, in a lot of cases, with a lot of people today, they don't know how to love their damn self, let alone know how to go out and love someone else. So with that
Mhm.
creates more problems because hurt people will hurt people.
Cool. Yep, that's true.
So so first things first, we have to understand how to love ourselves. And if that's taking time for yourself, I don't care if it's just sitting in a dark room, relaxing, listening to some jazz. I know my man Terrell plays trumpet. He might decide to pull his trumpet out and play something to himself, just to meditate on his own without any issues or any problem. It might, like for me, I like to get in the truck and just ride around the city by myself. That because I want to get away from everybody. I need that time to self to decompress, to unwind, to woosah per se. And then I can move on with everything else. Because if you don't love yourself, I will not be mentally, emotionally, or physically able to give anybody love because I'm exhausted. I've
Mhm.
spent every,
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
spent
Mhm.
everything that I've had trying to love on everybody, and damn it, I haven't loved myself to even take a nap.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sister Ronnie, can you make some build love for yourself as well? The same question: can you build love for yourself to give it to yourself? Can you create that type of environment to give yourself love, more love that you're seeking?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
How would you go about doing it?
Well, like he was saying, I meditate in the morning and at night. I would meditate. I would get to like I've always been alone. I like being alone. I like learning new things about myself every day. So it's like I I would probably like actually journal more. Write down how I feel. Meditate. Start working out. Um, and just yeah, that's what I would do.
Brother Terrell?
I agree with Alan. Oh, my bad, Alan. My voice. Do I need to I need to put some more trouble in it. Is
Yes,
that
please.
is that high enough?
All right, go ahead with it. It's not going to help.
I agree with Brother Allen. It's something that you can build. For me personally, um, I had to learn what love was just by making mistakes, pretty much. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
make the mistakes in order to learn
Oh,
what it was based on how I grew up. Um, I had to learn, yeah, pretty much by mistake. So I believe you can actually teach yourself how to love yourself first, and eventually you'll learn how to love others.
Okay. Now I hear, and I have met several people throughout time, my few years of life. Um, some people stay in relationships because somebody said "I love you," but they don't love them either. But they stay because they want to feel that love. Is that a healthy environment for anyone? Because they want to be loved, so they stay, but they don't love that person, and they're not sure. It's not a reality that the person really loves them. Both parties just in need or in want. Is that a healthy environment? Do you believe?
In some
no.
cases, no.
It's
What
yeah.
you would turn around and get is, yes, let's use the example. You know, I'm dating a young lady. Everything's going, everything's moving well. She enjoys spending time with me because I make her feel good. She gets to unwind. She gets to be herself around me. She doesn't have to worry about nothing happening. She don't have to deal with no issues. I'm there to listen to everything going on, the whole 9 yards. For her, it might think that she would love me for those things and potentially start falling in love because she's getting something from me that she's not getting from someone else. Whereas, in fact, I'm just being a good friend or anything along those lines, and vice versa.
Sister Ronnie,
Well, that's why.
go ahead. Where Sister Ronnie?
Well, that's why you have to probably provide those things for yourself, because a person, like when it comes to a relationship, they should be your companion anyway, like your partner. You know what I mean? So you should always find happiness within yourself first before anything else. And yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Take your time.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yes, what I said is what I said. You know.
Yeah. Latrell, uh, uh, but also we have our sister Patricia. Her camera's not on right now because she have a little difficulty. But Sister Patricia, is being in a relationship someone saying that they love you but you don't love them, is it good for either party? Sister Patricia, you could talk. Okay, I'm not sure she could hear me. But Sister Allen, Brother Allen, you would like to speak on that?
Repeat the question again, please.
Being in a relationship with somebody is saying that they love you, but you don't love them, and you're not in love with them, but you want to be loved by somebody, even if it's the wrong person. Is that a healthy relationship?
No, it's not. That's toxicity 101. You have a person who's desiring love but doesn't know how to show love, but all they want to do is receive. They are not givers. They are takers. And once the giver gets tired, because the giver will get tired. The giver will get tired. And once that happens, now all of a sudden, what you hear from the taker is, I don't like how you moving. You doing this and you doing this. You acting differently towards me. You're not doing the same things that you did here, here, and here. No, I see you for who you are. And now I'm moving accordingly. I'm moving according to your move. Because at the end of the day, the first law of nature is self-preservation. I have to preserve self. And I can't let my emotional, physical, and mental state and stability be harmed by people who refuse to show that much love. Because all they want to do is take, and take.
Okay. Since Priscilla just brought back in, what is toxic love to y'all? If you got it, let's start with Brother Allen. Not Allen, Brother Terrell. What is toxic love? When you see it or somebody receive it, what is toxic love to you, Tasha?
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said, what is toxic love?
Yes, because we talking about what is love. So what is toxic love?
I believe they contradict themselves. Those two words contradict themselves. Just being toxic, and then the outer appearance of what you believe love is to be. So I would say being toxic is not understanding who you are, what you need in your life and going for the physicality of what you believe love is. So when I say the physicality, that means sexual. Um, you can say, yeah, pretty much usually a sexual or, just receiving gifts, things of that nature. You think love is something that's tangible, something that has some type of monetary value. Somebody buys you a lot of things. Somebody that you can have sex with on a regular. That's love to them. That's toxic because you don't have a full grasp of understanding of what love is, and you don't understand your value to understand how you need to be loved.
Sister Ronnie, you want to comment on that?
He's right. Like, toxic love is like, if you're in a relationship, like a woman's in a relationship with a man, and all he sees her as an object, and he just wants to have sex with her all the time and doesn't like help her out in any way. That's toxic. It's like he doesn't listen, doesn't communicate. He just wants what he wants. Toxic love, Yeah. And I agree with Terrell. Yeah.
Yeah. Brother Allen?
Both have good points. Both have very valid points. Notice to start with Sister Rose, you're right. When a man does that, it's deplorable. Well, however, women do the same thing to men. Because women will take a nice man, take a genuinely kind person, and run him down that rabbit hole because she knows she's really not gonna go too far. I use it like this. In high school and even today, a young man can be infatuated with a beautiful woman, but this young man is not fast enough for her. She likes the dope boy. She wants that fast money. She wants that fast upbeat pace. The simple dude is not what she's looking for. And so now you get this one person
yet.
She's not looking for him yet. Exactly. See, she looks for him 15, 20 years down the road.
Can y'all hear me?
No, we can't.
Can hear you now,
Okay.
sister.
All right. Go ahead. You.
She looks for him 10, 15 years down the road after her life didn't go the way she planned because
I'm about to chop you up because this go the same way for men.
You're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. Men do the exact same thing.
Yes.
The nice girl don't want the dude don't want the nice girl because she too slow and she a square. So he wants to be out here with the fast girl, and now he got 3-4 kids with her.
No. He want her to stay faithful while he out still wilding.
That goes both ways.
For sure.
That goes both ways. Because now okay, let's do it like this. I'll speak to my own personal experience. At the age of 19 years old, at 18 3/4, when I joined the Navy, my oldest son was born. Me and his mother got married in July 92. We divorced 2 years later. Now, I'm not going to divulge any information to protect the guilty. However, numbers don't add up, and we'll talk about that on another day because she wanted to do what she wanted to do and didn't want to leave the city of Memphis because of whatever reason she had other than being with her husband and having a family with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's been 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And concepts are still the same. And concepts are still the same on both sides of the coin. You have men that do that to women, You have women that do that to men. It goes hand in hand. Who gonna take advantage of who first? Is how some of them think. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, I can agree with you, but now I need to run it back because I was having some technical difficulties. So I would like for y'all to kind of catch me up to speed, if you don't mind.
Okay, what we
Not a
doing
problem.
tonight? We going down the rabbit hole tonight about what is love. We no holds bars, anything goes. So we've been asking and talking about different phases. So what kind of love is? Toxic love, friendship love, the difference between light love and reality love. So we've just been going down that rabbit hole. Now, my question is, uh, how do you recognize true love? How do a person recognize true love?
Well, I think love is an action word. I don't think love is um you sometimes you can see it. For the most part, you can see it. You also can feel it, but I think love is an action word. It's in not what you say, but it's in what you do. Love is not deception. Love is not manipulation. Love is agreeable.
Mm.
So I would recognize love, and it take for me. It's the long game. It's not the butterflies. It's not the oh you look good. I look good. That's not love for me. For me, love is an action. How do we treat one another? What are our goals? And it does. We don't have to have the same goals, but how are we growing together? And I don't. And I think you over time you begin to fall in love. But I asked that last week. Do y'all believe in love at first sight? And do y'all still
Yeah,
believe in butterflies and all that?
yeah, I see them
So
fly outside.
you see, you see, yeah. But for me personally, love is the long game. Love is an action word. How do you treat me? How do I treat you? How are we agreeable in this situation? What are the things that we are doing to accomplish? What do we have in common? And that goes with your friends, your lovers, your family, whomever. And if you want to talk about falling in love, then if we go in there because we all grown, it's all sexual compatibility, because that matters in love. It's everything. Who, yeah. So
So, so, for example, let's say if you go back in the old days, some people didn't even have sex, but they still fell in love. And when they did have sex, they didn't know. They still love each other, but they might wasn't compatible. So should people deal with that? People.
well, that I think that depends on each couple, and that's an individual um, decision that you have to make. If I'm talking about for me personally, so, but if for you, if sex isn't an important role in your relationship, then then y'all can handle it that way. Sex is not important to everyone's relationship. It doesn't. You can have sex with somebody and not be in love with them. It's probably not the best decision you should make, but you can do what you want to do. That's a part of the problem, that you can do what you want to do. But I don't know. Love for me, again, I know what love is not. Love is not manipulation. Love is not deception. Love is patience and kindness. Love is wisdom. Love is a good time. Love is a good time in all aspects.
So I guess it's not like tax. You got to pay that bill anyway.
Love is goals. And if your goal is to make sure that you got your bills paid on time, to buy a home together, to raise a family, love is not always going to be okay, happy go lucky. It's an understanding. But I don't know, what do y'all think? Y'all let me ramble on. I'll tell y'all all about it all day.
Well, we letting you play catch up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And brother Terrell is kind of shy too.
Well, tell
So
me if y'all agree with me or disagree with me.
No, I
yeah,
I completely agree that love
yeah,
is an action. That goes
yeah.
back to what we were saying earlier. In order to love, you gotta be willing to put that work in. See, so many times people expect you just to do things because of a title, a status, or anything along those lines. They just expect for you to give this love, but they don't want to give anything back because they feel they're entitled to you to give it to them. So you're absolutely correct. It's an action. It's kind. It's wisdom. Love covers all. It embodies all. But in order to maintain that type of love, you got to put that work in to maintain that type of love, because far too many times people get complacent in that love, and they get lackadaisical in their efforts moving forward.
And I don't think that love is always 50-50. There are going to be shifts within your love. Sometimes it's going to be a 70-40, because sometimes you have to love on a person more than they love themselves, and you have to push and motivate them. And that's the love that you have to have for that person in order for you to stay in that relationship, because that's the hard part. What do you do when today I don't feel like loving you? Because you know why? You get on my nerves today. I don't feel like loving you. But you have to see past that. What's the long game? What does the future hold? You scratching, so say something.
I told you he kind of shy.
It was the last thing you said. I don't feel like loving you because of X, Y, Z.
Okay.
I don't agree with that statement, because if you, let's say you are in love with an individual, that love doesn't go anywhere because you're not in the mood. What goes somewhere is that your attention span to that person at that moment. Love is
okay. So you was articulate, my brother. I got
it. That's the only thing I don't agree with. I don't think love is not here for the moment and then leaves. It's still there, because love is the reason why you're still sitting in front of that person. Because if I ain't loving you no more, guess what? I'm out. So it's not like love just dissipates in that moment because I'm having a bad day. No, I'm just having a bad day, and I just don't feel like being bothered.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't get scared. She ain't gonna hurt you, Brother Terrell. We ain't gonna let her hurt you.
I am so kind and gentle and smart-mouthed and nice.
Yes, but she a Duncan, so she would cut you if she has to. So, but Brother Allen, your thoughts?
My thoughts. Well, I agree with what's been said across the board about love, the action, the work put into it. Sometimes you don't want to be around a person. I agree with what Terrell said sometimes, or what actually both parties said. You might not want to be around that person for a moment. You take your breather, go for a ride, go for a walk, clear the air, so to speak. There might have been some type of tension, some type of build up that, if it goes any further, the situation now becomes worse than what it originally was, because frustration and emotions are out of control at that moment in time. That doesn't mean the love has disappeared. It just means that you go to your corner, we're gonna have a standing. We're gonna count to 10, and then we'll try this thing again. But it takes two willing people to understand that a break is needed and a pause needs to take place, because you have some people, male and female, that feel that if you try to, that you know what, you got it, I really don't want to do this argument anymore, that you're trying to make light of their feelings, and now they get more aggressive, trying to force you to listen to their point and understand their point, when they're not listening to anything you say. Going into next week's toxic people, they're not listening to anything you try to say, because a conversation goes both ways. And like I say, it's communication, but it's more about the effective listening than it is than what's being said at that moment in time. If you're not listening to me, that means you're waiting for me to finish so you can respond, and you're not trying to understand anything on what's coming out of my mouth. So therefore, the conversation is really a non-starter. You can have it all to yourself. We'll try this again later.
So, how important is the fact of communication with love?
Uh, the lack of communication leaves room for the imagination.
Okay.
Well,
Sister
I
Ron?
feel like communication is super key to all types of love. But my question is, how do you love someone? And you can take this any way, in any type of relationship. How do you decide that you can love someone from a distance? For instance, you have parents who wash their hands of their children. You have siblings who wash their hands of one another. You have people who say, I love you, but I'm really going to love you from a distance. What does that mean? Are you truly loving that person? Does that mean that you still pray for that person and wish them success?
Well, I
Ooh,
think
It's like a fork
to
in the
me,
road
I
type of
think that
situation.
yeah, but to me, sometimes that comes with self love, because not just because they're your family or somebody else, that don't mean they always have best intentions for you. So sometimes you have to love yourself enough just to step back for a second, just to see the situation for its full entirety. Because just because you say, "Well, I got to step back for a second," don't mean you don't love them. But sometimes you gotta have that self love to know that I can't always be right what you want me to be. I also have to be what I need for me to be as well. So if you can't self love your own self, how can you love somebody else? I let
very
anybody else
well said.
answer.
Very, very well said. Because that's exactly where I was going to go. It doesn't have anything to do with the person involved. It all has to do with with self. I love myself enough to say, you know what? I love you. I don't have to see you every day. I can remove myself from a situation and not say anything about it. If we happen to be in the same room, family function, anything along those lines, I will be cordial. I will be polite. I will hold conversation while we're in that moment. Once that moment is over with and I leave, then things go back to the way it was before I got there, because I understand what I'm dealing with the person involved. The person could be a user. They want to drain you of your mental and emotional stability and energy, and it just spirals downhill. And while they're doing those things, the person that's a natural giver is not thin, because they are truly trying to help that person. They are truly trying to help heal that person. They are giving their all to help this person. But this person really ain't doing a damn thing to help themselves. They are just taking, 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 because they know I'll give, give, give. And in that situation, yeah, I can love you from afar. I can still pray for you. I can still put your name in the I can still put your name in the prayer basket at church. I can sit back and I can sit back and see you. I can ask about you, or even give you a call periodically just to see how you're doing. But I will not allow myself to get caught up in that same foolishness again.
Mm. Brother Allen or Sister Ronnie, you would like to respond to that? Well, I want to give a little. Go ahead. I'm going to give you a little example. This might not be popular with some people in my family, but before my dad got sick, sick, he had some issues. I loved him, but we went through a lot of hardship. and for several years we did not even talk. But when he called me when he was in need, I still was there for him. It wasn't that I didn't love him no more. I know that because
Is
of the
this silent?
situation,
Can y'all hear me?
yeah, we
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
But I also knew that because of the situation that he was in, it was not healthy for me to stay in that situation around him. It wasn't that I didn't love him. It wasn't that I didn't care for him. It was the fact that I did love him enough to say, well, if you need me and if you're true about what you need and how you feeling, then I will be there for you. But in certain incidents and cases, I had to say, well, hey, I can't put, because I had a young daughter at that time, because I had a young daughter that her mother died and I was raising. Certain situations I no longer could put myself into because I now had responsibility outside of myself. I had to look at my whole situation because me just rushing to do something, knowing that I have this now child to take care of, you can't always put yourself in bad situations just to help somebody else who made a choice to be in that situation. So sometimes you just have to take yourself out of the situation to get yourself into the situation, to protect the situation. Because if I didn't, who would take care of my responsibility? My responsibility became not only me then, or just being there for somebody else. I now had a young child to take care of. So sometimes you have to step out of a situation, but still try to be there in a situation. But you got to know your limitation. It's about knowing your limitation for what you involved in, what you got yourself in, what you can do. If you try to be Hercules' love, that would get you Hercules hurt. And also, it can also get you Hercules broke. You trying to live your life for everybody else, but who are you living your life for? For them or for yourself? You got to sometimes weigh your options. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes you got to weigh your options. I always love my dad. Don't get me wrong, but I knew that because of my situation, I had to now think about somebody else other than me. Me trying to give Hercules love or support could cost my daughter more than she already lost because she grew up as her mother passed and I was raising her. So me taking that responsibility on at such a young age, at her young age, I had to
You
now
sound
think
really
about
static,
more. I
Sean.
said, for said
Do you guys hear that?
taking on that type of responsibility meant that now I had to change on my life issues, how I'm going to live my life, because I couldn't give Hercules love because I had other
I
responsibilities.
can't hear you.
So sometimes it's more about your situation at hand than just what you want to, who you want to love, how you want to love 'em. It just depends on the situation. Brother Terrell, you want to speak on that?
No, I understand what you're saying. As a person that's, I'm guessing you're speaking from the position of a giver. You are a natural giver per se. And then for other natural givers, you just have to know your limits. Like Brother Allen mentioned before, people take advantage of givers. So as long as a giver understands their limits and the situation they're in, you're able to separate yourself from a situation to save yourself as well as the other individuals.
Okay. Sister Ronnie, would you like to speak on that?
She
Looks like
can't.
she's had some
We can't hear her.
Uh,
audio issues.
okay.
Well, now it says your voice. It says your microphone is muted.
Your microphone music. Sister Ronnie, your microphone muted.
No, you muted my microphone. The
No.
host. Hello.
Oh, I
You're coming
didn't.
in
Can
broken
somebody
up, but
say something?
we can hear you.
He said we can't hear you. I can't hear you guys. You guys all sound staticky. I swear. I'm like,
Okay. Okay.
I was just about to write a note.
Uh, uh, but love comes in all shapes and sizes. That's what I think. Comes in all colors, shapes and sizes and colors. So it's not no one right way or wrong way to love somebody. You only thing I believe we could do is do our best that we can do. If we really strive to do our best, then love will show one way or another. But there also is a bad side of love too. So do y'all want to go down that rabbit hole or y'all want to just play it safe?
Say that. Make that statement one more again.
There is the bad side, that dirty side of love too. That bad side that we haven't touched on. Love comes in all shapes and sizes. It comes in all styles, but not every. Love can also be abusive in some ways because if you allow yourself to feel something that's not really there, you can get mentally drained or hurt because you love that person or that person say they love you and you want that type of love. So how do you deal with that?
That's a situational
Hmm.
situational
That's
basis.
that's a yeah. There's no one direct answer for that. You could take a person who might be in a relationship with someone and now he don't want to be with that person anymore. And but how does he break away, or does he stay cordial? Does it get abusive? You have some men that try to do the right thing, someone that try to do the right thing, and the other party gets completely violent and want to set cars on fire and graffiti in houses and stuff. You know,
As long as I, as
it's
long
a
as I got full insurance, I'm good.
well, it shouldn't come to that anyway, because if everyone is if everyone are adults, then that portion of it should never come into play. However, when someone feels that you're taking something from them, and see, that's what a lot of times it comes down to. If a person says, "I'm gonna step away, let this happen," the person you're stepping away from can feel that you're taking something from them, and they're ready to fight to keep what they thought they had. That's my personal take. That's my personal take on it.
Bro,
Thank
bro,
y'all.
brother, brother Terrell.
Oh well.
I mean, like I said, it's situational. Every situation is different. I'm like Alan saying, some people think that you're taking something from them, they're trying to hold on to. It goes back to what I think I said earlier. It's about what you believe love is. If you have a false indication of what love is, you're going to hold on to something like that. If you really understood what it was, you actually have the capabilities of letting it go.
Sister Priscilla.
Can you repeat the question? And I apologize for my background. I have my beautiful children watching Elmo.
Okay. Yeah, the question is, love could be toxic sometimes, such as, you know, you could be in love or what you thought was love, but it could also hurt. How do you deal with that? How do you recognize what is healthy love and what is not healthy love? Let me ask it that way then.
Well, healthy love, that's the easy part. Healthy love, it's that inner peace. It's the outer beauty. You feel it. And I don't mean just you look fine. I mean, you have a glow. you have a good spirit about yourself, and when you're have a healthy love, you tend to be more giving towards others, just in general. Toxic love, you get recognized. You hit. Okay, so there's a couple things, a couple ways you can approach this. You can approach it from a spiritual aspect, and you can turn to the Bible and try and align yourself with God's words and see if what you're into makes sense. Does Is that truly love? And are we talking about We're talking about relationships. You're saying, or just
No,
worldly love?
just worldly love, any type of love. It could be relationship or any type of love, because there's so many definitions on what love's supposed to be. I don't want to
Okay,
tightrope
so
anybody into a certain thing.
you can even involve therapy. You can talk to a psychologist, a therapist, a counselor, a guidance counselor, your friends, the other people who you believe have healthy love in their lives. You can consult them. You can consult your religious beliefs. There's there's so many options and so many different outlets and resources to find anything. And love is not, I wouldn't want to say that it isn't difficult, but I want to say that if you seek wisdom, wisdom you shall find. And if you're looking for wisdom on love, you'll find it if that's what you're looking for. And you have to go and seek it and open your eyes to it and open your ears and look within yourself as well. Sometimes it's just, when you're in something. Okay, it's that energy, that vibe you get when you're in a bad situation. It's intuition, it's things like that. And if you're in like something like an abusive relationship, and you don't recognize the signs because it isn't physical, it's mental. You know when somebody's playing tricks on your mind. And if you don't know, sometimes if you have access to other people, and again, if you open your mouth and you talk to other people, or you open your eyes and you see the difference in other people's relationships and the way that they are communicated with, you discover what love is through that way. But you have to be intentional about what you're looking for.
Okay. Since our time about to come to a close, that what you just said goes into what we're going to be talking about next week. Next week we will be talking about the traits of being toxic. How do you identify toxicity? It's another form that we continue on with love, but it's also dealing with how do you deal with toxic relationships? How do you deal with or identify what is toxic in to yourself or to your others? How do you deal with that? Those are some of the questions we're going to be dealing with next week. Um, so before we get off tonight, I would like to please give everybody a chance to have a last remark before we get out of here tonight, and we continue with the topic of love, but on a different note. We're going down the rabbit hole one more time next week with how do you identify toxic toxic traits? That could be love, that could be friendship, that could be anything. But we also invite other people who are interested to join us to tell us, because we don't know everything, but we wanted to learn and listen as well. So next week is how to deal with toxic relations. To identify with toxic. So I'm going to give everybody a chance now to go ahead and give a closing remarks, and then we'll get out of your way tonight. And I want to thank all our speakers, and I'm going to invite everyone to come back next week because your opinion does matter. We're not here just for ourselves; we're here for you too. So please come again, and I really want to thank our ladies because not every lady will step up to the plate and actually speak the truth and what the truth is to themselves or reality to most men. Because if they have certain people have certain ideas of what truth is, so I do want to thank our ladies for coming aboard and helping us, as the old sign saying, the knuckleheads. get a little bit understanding of what's going on in their lives in the world today. So I want to give everybody a chance. So we'll start with Brother Terrell, and then we'll let Brother Allen give us the closing remarks. So we go to our ladies next.
I just want to say thanks for having me. Um, and when it comes to love, just remember, you can't make a rational decision with an emotional thought.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for having us, sitting back watching us tonight. Remember, give love the way you want to receive love. It's not a hard thing to do. I truly believe that if the world was receiving love more, or people were showing love more, a lot of things that's going on right now could and will end. But so many people are so self-centered with themselves that they can't show or receive. So we have to work on that. Thank you.
Okay. Sister Ronnie, is your mic good now? Do you want to give a closing remark?
Yeah, I was having like problems with hearing you guys, but I can hear you guys now.
Okay.
Thank you guys for having me. That's all I have to say, and I agree with all of you guys. It was helpful.
Okay. Sister Priscilla, our
As always,
expert on love.
no way.
Yeah.
But as always, I wish upon you all the blessings of love, peace, happiness, health, wealth, success, and guidance, financial abundance, knowledge and wisdom, creativity, and motivation without procrastination.
See, that's how you know she a teacher. She know a lot of big words.
Stop it.
So that's how we know she's a teacher. So I just want to thank everybody again for joining us, and y'all have a good night. And thank y'all very much.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful
Good
time.
night. You too.